I have carried more than silence. I have lived in the shadow of your emotional distance, an absence I made space for, even as it carved its own quiet chambers in me. I never minded your priorities. I honored them. I rearranged the furniture of our lives and placed me slightly out of sight. But something is shifting. What once felt like patience now threatens to become paralysis. What I allowed for the sake of peace has started to disturb my spirit. I have visited our ideal life in my mind, dreamt of it in color, only to wake in the gray. From afar I have sensed the walls surrounding our lives. They feel dark. A romance is like a building. The walls of this building are crying, not from storm or sorrow, but from the silence that fills it. An ache seeps through the imaginary bricks, as if the spiritual house itself knows something that either of us does not know, or perhaps one or the other does. This is my plea and my prayer. I am putting the brakes on a pattern that will not serve love, one that slowly erodes the woman I or any woman in my position is meant to be. I will no longer bend into corners. I will not shrink into understanding while I vanish from my own story. This is my line in the sand. From this day, I choose clarity over confusion, purpose over placation, and truth over tradition. Let the shift begin, not with blame but with bravery, not with noise but with knowing. Father in heaven, creator of all, I come to you with a question. Can you tell me why there is an invisible wall between my husband and I, one that keeps getting higher? It didn't start as a wall. It began with his priorities and I said fine. Then came the need for quiet. I said, honest. But now, the silence feels like stone. The stillness has become separation, and the space between us rises like Jericho. So Father, turn me into a David. Put in my hand a stone not to harm, but to strike down what stands between love and truth. Give me the stamina of your people, the ones who circled the walls of Jericho. 3 days in camping, 3 days walking, 3 days trusting, and then give me the shout of 1,000 angels. Let it rise from within me. Let it shake the ground. Let those walls crumble not for revenge, but for restoration. So that true love, honesty, and integrity can finally flourish in the life we are meant to live, not the one I've only imagined. Father, if there is still life in this union, if you still intend to water what feels dry, then breathe on these bones. Give us both a heart for you and remove every stone that keeps us apart. Heal what is bruised or broken in him. Heal what is bruised or broken in me. Teach us again how to walk as one. And if there is still a future that honors you, then make a way in the wilderness not for comfort, but for covenant. Take us to Jordan, part the waters, and let us cross over into promise. Father, in the name of Yeshua, I also bring before you what has been hidden in plain sight. You see it all. It has now become clear there. Father, do the opposite of the negative we speak. Let us plan for purpose, build for kingdom, invest in security for us. Father, reverse a lack of shared strategy to solid, sure strategy for prosperity, success, and purpose positioning. Remove the concept expression of togetherness in separate worlds. Father, I admit, I have made my own mistakes, but you opened my eyes. You showed me a thing, you gave me wisdom. The wisdom to avoid the storms. The wisdom to avert vulnerability. The wisdom to pray for protection, covering. You removed bitterness, replacing this with foresight, forgiveness, and discernment. I declare in this marriage there will be growth, not division. There will be consideration, not harshness. There will be permanence unto death, not a temporary situation. Because Ather, you said, two shall become one flesh. You did not say, one holds the keys while the other waits at the door. So I rebuke any and all false versions of partnership. I rebuke every counterfeit covenant. I reject every form of union that masquerades as love, but withholds the safety, the vision, and sacrifices its demands. In the name of Yeshua, I break agreement with false hope. I sever ties with illusions of unity, replacing this with unity in all truth. And I declare that I will not settle for an arrangement when you have called me to a covenant. I will obey and abide with my covenant calling and refuse to diminish this. I stand in purpose, and I will not endanger my legacy to participate in a future I was never invited to plan. Father, restore my peace, restore my discernment, restore my joy in knowing that you, Father, hold my future and you alone are my shelter, my source, my provider. I pray you speak your legacy into my husband's soul, bringing him into true covenant with you. so that he recognizes you and you only as his head, him as the ordained leader in our covenant. Bring him into obedience to you, Father. Let this prayer resound in heaven. Let every spiritual wall be shaken unto rubble. Let every false foundation crumble. And let your will, only your will, be done in our lives. In the mighty name of Yeshua, Father in heaven, I lift up the one you joined me to. I ask in the name of Yeshua that you awaken his eyes not just to my presence, but to my purpose. Let him discover the soul you sent to walk beside him, not to compete, not to control, but to complete. Let him recognize the helpmeet not as a servant, but as a sacred echo of your wisdom, your beauty, your gentleness, your power. Let him see the feminine soul not as weakness, but as divine design. Not as mystery to avoid, but as wonder to be explored. I was not sent to fix his wounds, but to walk with him toward wholeness. I was not made to be used for comfort, but to build legacy, to carry vision, to multiply love. Let him rediscover the garden, Father, the place where man saw woman and said, "Bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh." Let that kind of knowing return. Remove the veil of past pain, pride, and patterns. Remove whatever numbs his soul to affection. Place in him a hunger for understanding of you, seeking you first. Teach him that help is not weakness. Teach him that submission is not silence. Teach him that love is not control, but cultivation. And if his heart is willing, then teach him that he who finds a wife finds a good thing, and that her worth is more precious than rubies. She is your beloved daughter. Teach him not to cause injury and hide it under his garments in the name of Yeshua. In the mighty name of Yeshua, I rebuke all false structures, every design that introduces weakness, every form that creates legal, financial, or social risk. I come against structures that give the illusion of safety while birthing instability, debt, and disorder. In the name of Yeshua, I crush and break up the spirits of selfishness, the spirit of control, the spirit of counterfeit safety, and anything that is not of Yeshua. I refuse to enter any environment that offers shelter without protection, a roof without relationship, walls without warmth, or presence without purpose. I reject survival structures that do not exist in my divine portion, and which are not acceptable to you, dear Father. I will not accept any path, place, or proposal that is not part of Yeshua's program for my life. I ask you, Father, in the name of Yeshua, help us as a couple not to decorate dysfunction or call silence peace. Remove from our lips words of death labeling instability as partnership, Father. I ask you to step in. Bring accountability. Bring light to what has been hidden. If what reveals is not of you, root it out and burn it like the tares that grew after good seed is sown. Bring conviction where there has been convenience. Let righteousness be the plumb line. Let justice be the measure. Let peace be fruit. Let joy prevail. And if my husband refused to hear your call, then place in my heart forgiveness, build a safe place for me. I ask you, Lord, be my refuge. Hide me under the shadow of your wings. Supply my needs with your own hand, and never let me confuse risk with love. I trust you to rebuild what has been broken. I trust you to guard what I cannot. But I will no longer stay silent under the weight of any structure that was never sound. I am a daughter of the Most High God, not a tenant in fear. I carry covenant in my spirit, not a permission slip to exist in someone else's realm. I am positioned in Yeshua's fold. A price was made for me in full. The blood of Yeshua redeems me. Father, in the name of Yeshua, I come against every false framework, every fraudulent concept, every argument that does not stand upon your word. You told us clearly in Scripture that we would face tribulation, that we would live under governments, that we would pay taxes, not as victims, but as those walking upright in obedience. You never called us to rebellion, but to righteousness, not to resist order, but to reflect kingdom character. So I reject all teachings that twist your truth for personal freedom without personal responsibility. This is not obedience to man, this is obedience to your word. And as a couple, we must submit to you, not to ideology, not to delusion, not to lawlessness wrapped in philosophy. I pray that it is so. Father, this is a wife's prayer, not a prayer of rebellion, not a prayer of resentment, but a prayer of revelation and restoration. Send your light, Father. Shine your Shekinah glory over this union, over this covenant, over every corner of our lives. Let all that is hidden in darkness be revealed. Let the darkness expose itself in what is revealed. Let it or them fall into the pit dug for itself. I pray upon the words of Psalm 8, silence the foe and the avenger. Let every voice raised against your truth be still. I pray upon the promise of Psalm 5. I stand against every lie, every mouth that cannot be trusted, every heart filled with malice. I reject every intrigue not born of you. For you, O Lord, are a God of truth. There is no shadow in your ways. I come against all darts and arrows of the enemy in the mighty name of Yeshua. Every spiritual weapon formed against this marriage, let it fall powerless. I pull down all false altars, every throne of deception, rebellion, or idolatry that has encroached upon our lives, in the mighty name of Yeshua. I crush every curse, past and present, spoken by family, friends, colleagues, strangers, systems, or spiritual agreements. I destroy every utterance against you, union not made in your truth, spoken in ignorance, spoken in pride, spoken in ungodliness, spoken in rebellion. They are powerless under the blood. I rebuke ancestral principalities. I break generational covenants made without knowledge, and I cancel their effects in my life, in his life, in the lives of our children. Cover us, Almighty Father. Cloak us in your spirit. Guide us with your word. Cover us with the blood of Yeshua. I come not as a woman demanding control, but as a wife holding covenant, asking for your light to shine on what is torn, not to shame it, but to heal it. It is in humility I pray to the one who sees all, and the only one who can heal my marriage. You alone know the beginning and the end. You alone search the heart and test the mind. You alone hold the blueprint for our restoration. I am willing, Father, and I am able, but only by your grace, to do as you command. I do not come with pride. I do not come with blame. I come only in love, and I come as your daughter. I ask for your help in love, for love to the glory of your name. Father, bring us both into your individual purposes and into the joint calling you have written over our lives. Let nothing counterfeit remain. Let nothing holy be lost. Let everything align with your will. Let your glory be seen in the healing or in the walking forward, but in all things, Father, be lifted high. Be exalted in the mighty name of Yeshua. Amen. To my husband, you are my husband no matter what, and unto death. That truth does not change. Even if this moment is a last bid for healing, I want you to know I still stand by you in covenant. I do not walk away from what God has joined, and I do not treat sacred things lightly. I must remain in alignment with my spiritual purpose. My love for you is not greater than my obedience to God. I will wait patiently, prayerfully, until you are willing. I will remain contactable, reachable, and present, even within the boundaries or limitations you choose to maintain. I will rejoice and give Yehovah the glory when you relinquish these and surrender fully to his word. I accept this reality because God is my covering in the absence of your willingness to take up the leadership that is rightfully yours. Until you are ready, I will continue to follow his lead, which is to remain in covenant without detour, complaint, or grumble. I am still willing and I am still wanting to walk with you, to support you. I place everything in prayer and leave it in the hands of the one who sees all. I rely on the patience given to me by the Ruach HaKodesh, and I believe in the possibility of transformative miracles to be revealed in our lives. And I want to say this to you now. I see within you a vulnerability you try to hide. But to me, it's not weakness, it's beautiful. It doesn't need to be buried or silenced. It needs to be nurtured. Your vulnerability, if allowed to breathe, wouldn't destroy your strength. It would enhance it. It would refine it. It would make your strength wise, rooted, and alive. This is something you either don't recognize or perhaps you do, but you avoid it, push it aside, or minimize its value. But what I see is your greatest gift. When that gift is ignored, I've watched other parts of your life begin to strain. Control replaces peace. Isolation replaces connection. And slowly, without meaning to, you edge closer to chaos. But chaos does not come from God. God is a God of order, of truth, of holy strength, of unashamed vulnerability. He never required you to battle alone or to hide what is tender in you in order to be a man. You are strong. You always have been. But the strength I long to see rise in you is the kind that leans on truth, that opens, that trusts. I'm not asking you to become someone else. I'm asking you to become more of who God created you to be, because I believe in the man he made. And I believe, with everything in me, that if you let this part of yourself rise, you will walk into your fullness with grace, not pressure. There is glory in you that has not yet met the light, and if you allow it, if you surrender it, I believe you will know peace, love, and legacy like never before. I remain yours in covenant before God and with grace. Thank you for listening. This spiritual prayer is meant to reveal God's ability to help in His first institution, marriage. May it help anyone who hears it.